Who will you vote next in BFDIA 17 and TPOT 15? The viewers voted on several questions spanning both upcoming episodes, and now it is time to see the results. I received 896 responses, less than last time, but that's alright. Now let's begin exploring the results. We will start with the poll results related to the BFDIA 17 questions. First, I will reveal which of the contestants who lost in BFDIA 16 got the most likes in the poll. The purple needle represents the Wool Bunch one, while the pink needle represents the Free Smart one. Here are the likes. Pin had the fewest with 242, while Fries had 619. If my theory from my predictions for BFDIA 17 is correct, then Needle is the prize winner with a combined 798 likes. It is interesting that both needles were so close together, though. For the dislikes, Tennis Ball has the lowest again with just 146 dislikes. Fries nearly beat him though, as he got just 150 dislikes. Just like with their likes, Book and Coiny are very close together with 232 and 240 dislikes respectively. The needles are next, though they aren't close together like Tennis Ball and Fries or Book and Coiny. Wool Bunch Needle has 321 dislikes, while Free Smart Needle had 365 dislikes. This makes a combined 686 dislikes, which is the most if my theory about their totals getting combined is true. For the sake of the video, we will assume that my theory is not true, which leaves Pencil and Pin as the bottom two. Pin has been trending higher in her dislikes lately, while Pencil has consistently escaped tough eliminations in the past. Obviously, as she wouldn't even be here if she didn't. It seems that even Pin isn't too much to overcome, because Pencil is safe with 387 dislikes, while Pin is out with a whopping 527 dislikes. Next up, I asked who the viewers believe to be the most to least likely to be up for elimination in the next episode. I did this by having them score each contestant 1 to 5, with 1 meaning they are less likely to lose and 5 meaning they are more likely. The results were obtained by taking the number of responses for each score 1 to 5, multiplied by the respective number 1 to 5, added it together, then divided it by all the total amount of responses. Book and Tennis Ball switched places this time. Tennis Ball has the lowest average score with just a 2.33 out of 5 average. Ironically, his placement in the ranking did not change since there is 1 less contestant this time. Meanwhile, Book still had a respectable score of 2.51 out of 5. She moved up 2 spots, however, again since there is 1 less contestant this time. Coiny went down 1 spot compared to last time, to 6th place as he had an average score of 2.8 out of 5. Fries is tied for the biggest shift in his ranking, falling 3 spots to 5th place with an average score of 2.88 out of 5. Needle moved up to 4th place with an average of 2.97 out of 5, the highest placing contestant with a score under 3. Pin moved up 3 places to 3rd place as she has a score of 3.12 out of 5 this time around. Pencil only went down 1 placement from 1st to 2nd as she had an average score of 3.46 out of 5. This means that the highest ranked, and therefore considered to be the most likely to be up for elimination, is Nickel. He ended up with an average score of 3.59 out of 5. However, all 8 will be placed at stake for the next 2 questions, the likes and dislikes for BFDIA 17. You are directed to choose whether you are more likely to like or dislike a contestant, which is why there was no option to skip, because it is for if you had to choose to like or dislike them. Fries had the highest ratio of likers to dislikers, with 722 likes and 174 dislikes. The only contestant where over 80% voted that they would be more likely to like him. Tennis Ball came close to doing the same though, with 712 likes and 184 dislikes. Almost exactly 3/4 of voters said they would like Nickel, just 1 vote away from that, in fact, with 671 liking and 225 disliking. Needle was 4th place with 649 likes and 247 dislikes, and Coiny came after with 630 to 266. Book was next with almost exactly double as many liking compared to disliking her, leaving just Pencil and Pin remaining. Pencil's totals were very close, but Pin ended up being the only one who had more dislikes than likes, and by a very wide margin as well. For the rejoin question, I once again featured everyone who I believe would be eligible to join, those being everyone eliminated since BFDIA 7 along with Flower, Bubble, Leafy, and Woody. I will speedrun to the top 5 since this is basically just a hypothetical and I doubt we will even see a rejoin with how close we are to the end. The contestants with their vote totals on screen did not make the top 5. Our top 5 is the same as the top 5 last time, not much of a surprise if I'm being honest. That said, Spongy with 76 votes and Ruby with 80 have the lowest totals out of these 5. The final 3 is once again Bubble, Gelatin, and Golf Ball, all with over 100 votes. Also once again, Gelatin has the least of the 3 with 128 votes. However, here is where things get interesting. We actually ended up with an exact tie as both Bubble and Golf Ball got 148 votes. However, Golf Ball got her last vote first, so I will be counting her as being the one to win the rejoin vote this time around. That's all for BFDIA, so it is time for the Power of 2! First, I asked who you voted for in TPOT 14, starting with Death Pact yet again. Fanny and Tree ended up being very close together with just a 1 vote gap between them. Fanny got 191 votes while Tree got 190. It seems like the voters did end up rallying around saving Tree after all, after he got bottom 2 last time. Pin and Marker came next, though they weren't nearly as close together as Fanny and Tree, as they got 161 and 143 votes respectively. Black Hole got the least with 101 votes, while Robot Flower just scrapes by with 110 votes. However, these polls always underestimate Black Hole, so Robot Flower is most likely the actual lowest. The other team that lost, and therefore the other team that featured in this part of the poll, was Bagged. The results had a couple of surprises in them. Easily the biggest is that Bottle ended up being the first one safe, and by a good margin too, with 227 votes. Lite came next with 182 votes. Pen and Tennis Ball came next after her with 140 and 122 votes respectively, which leaves us with Basketball and TV. Like Robot Flower, Basketball ends up narrowly scraping by with 116 votes compared to TV with his 109 votes. However, much like Black Hole, TV is often underestimated by these polls. Though unlike that one, I could actually see this elimination happening. I even predicted it in my TPOT 15 prediction. The final question for this section is which teams you all predicted would lose next time. Team 2 and CloudYAY were by far the highest, it wasn't even a contest, so there isn't anything else of interest to say for this section. Now for who you will vote on each team, starting with... When this team loses a third time, they will be down to just 4 members. Since we don't yet know who will be leaving though, we have to start with 6 instead of 5 like there will be then. Fanny and Tree are the first 2 safe again, though they aren't nearly as close together. Fanny actually has more votes in this one with 199 votes, while Tree has 169. This puts him closer to Pin, who has 163 votes. Merker comes next with 144 votes, leaving us with Black Hole and Robot Flower again. And guess what? They're even closer together here, with Black Hole being practically a rounding error away from being ahead of Robot Flower. There seems to be a contestant on each team that gets underestimated by these polls, and I am never sure why. Team 2, Why So Blue? Got something you've got to do? Well, too bad, because we need to see who my viewers would save and who they wouldn't. Anyways, Snowball had the largest share of his team's votes out of any contestants, with 260 of them. Book was next with 209 votes. Ice Cube wasn't bottom 2 this time either. She got 174 votes, which leaves us with Price Tag and Grassy. Price Tag got 148 votes, while Grassy got just 105. However, like I mentioned previously, Grassy seems to be another of the contestants that my polls underestimate, and I see no reason that would change since he's been first safe every single time he has been up for elimination in TPOT. Since Bagged were the third team to be named, they will be shown third despite theirs being the last question on the poll. My mistake. Much like Death Pact again, the future question results reflect the results for the TPOT 14 question, with Bottle and Lite being the first ones safe and getting almost the exact same vote totals. Pen and Tennis Ball also have the same placements in both questions, but with slightly different vote totals. In fact, Tennis Ball saw the biggest change in votes for this team, and he still only gained 8. Out of all of the TPOT questions involving the 4 main teams, this is the one that came closest to one of the contestants having less than 100 votes. Like Black Hole and Grassy, TV often gets underestimated in these polls. However, unlike those two, I could actually see TV getting out, as he's probably the least extreme example of this, as he has had multiple close calls before. Finally, it's CloudYAY's turn. Which one of them was voted by my viewers to leave the game? Golf Ball and Pencil were the first 2 safe again, though they switched placements this time, with Golf Ball receiving 196 votes and Pencil getting 172. Donut and Winner come next with 150 and 140 votes respectively. This leaves us with Yellowface and Pillow on this team. Pillow is the contestant on this team I would say gets consistently underestimated, though she's more like TV in this regard, and that I could possibly see her getting out, though it's not that likely. She only had one truly close call though. Even when she was bottom 2 in TPOT 12, she still beat Balmy by thousands of votes. Now we have the rejoin, and there are 22 up for voting. This may be the closest we have ever come to a contestant having 0 votes, as Belle and Barfbag have just 2 votes each. Clock, Naily, and Eggy are also under 10. These contestants have 30 or less votes: Balmy, Foldy, Cake, Pie, Saw, Gatey, and Rocky. Then, these contestants have more than 30 votes but only up to 65 votes: Cloudy, Eraser, Needle, Nickel, and Coiny. Our final 5 are Remote, Fries, Lightning, Puffball, and Teardrop. The lowest is Little Miss Droplet with just 66 votes. Lightning comes next with 75 votes, then Puffball follows with 87 votes. That means that if we see a double rejoin, that Fries and Remote will rejoin. But if it's just one, Remote comes back as she has way more votes than Fries, with 147 compared to his 97. Last up are the debuters. I will make this part quick as the results didn't change that much from last time, at least in a noteworthy way. These are all the contestants not in the top 4, and their vote totals are currently shown on screen, so you may want to look at the screen if you're just listening to the video. The final 4 is exactly the same as last time, but they do not all have at least 100 votes this time. I will make this part quick as the order has not changed at all. Shopping Cart is the lowest with 60 votes, then Non-Existy with 82, then Rubber Spatula with 138, and finally PDA with 209 votes. Thanks for participating in this video. Stay tuned for any future voting polls and make sure to subscribe with notifications on.